I think if I may be allowed to be frank, and no hard feelings here, your industry has a major perception issue, which you need to sort out. And whenever I speak to anyone who does not know this industry, as intensely as probably we do now, there is an, uh, let me draw a parallel. This is like online gaming. So while online gaming, is legal and it is permitted, and government as uh, India is supposedly getting tech prowess, uh, then we want to promote this as an industry. But then there is online gambling. So there's a very thin line between online gaming and online gambling. There are definitional issues. There are various court cases pending in various courts in India at High Court, Supreme Court level. What is a game of chance? What is game of skill? So I think there's a parallel here, and you as an industry need to really work on clarifying many issues, not just to the regulators like the government, but also to people. It is very heartening to see the numbers, especially the number of women that are getting their livelihoods from here, as it was told to us, and not just additional income, but maybe primary source of livelihood. So you have to come clean on what exactly you stand for, and I think since I deal with this ecosystem of consumer affairs and consumer protection, we uh, we focus on disclosure. Whether it's disclosure to the consumer, whether it's disclosure to the outside world, whether it's disclosure to the regulator. So I think there is a disclosure issue also with your industry, and unless you very consciously and deliberately work on it, that perception is not going to go. So my advice, and it's a very friendly advice to the industry, is your disclosure should be crisp, clean, as to what you stand for. For example, I saw a huge number on wellness and nutraceuticals, and somebody gave an example of eating 10 oranges and not able to afford, so you just pop a vitamin C pill. Now these are some things, and we already have our guidelines in terms of health and wellness influencers. So there also we have said, if you are pushing a product as a health product, then you need to disclose as to what is your qualification. Is there a study? Where are you coming from? So things like that. Instead of just peddling nutraceuticals as nutraceuticals, there has to be a scientific basis. Somebody talked about acupressure and acupuncture, being having originated in China. Of course, it works, but if it is more uh, based on information, facts, scientific studies, other objective information, then it is also going to give a further comfort level to the consumer, and also comfort to the regulator that nobody is being taken for a ride. That is one part. The other part is, that which I refer to in the online gaming parallel, that your the perception and the mix-up that you have with the Ponzi schemes. Now, of course, there is a difference between what is just for subscription and where actually a good or a service is being sold. So I think as an industry, you need to, help us clarify this to the world. And we have definition issues. And let me introduce my bright colleague here. Varuni is a lawyer and she works with us, and she works on many things, but specifically, she's an expert on the direct selling rules and regulations. So I was, just referring to her on the multi-layered thing, and she showed me a response that has come from the finance ministry, and how things are getting mixed up there. So my advice is that please work more on disclosure. You're a big industry, big in numbers in terms of how many people are employed, what is the turnover, how much GST are you paying, thereby contributing to the economy. But then on the regulatory side, let's have further clarity. Let's have let's have a clear distinction between the Ponzi schemes and your model of selling, and then we are good. So help us do it, but don't overdo it also. So let's be very clear, because regulation is a very tricky thing. Matlab, you can make or break a business by small uh, twist in regulation. So you must realize that while on the one hand we are totally committed to the ease of doing business and to facilitate the good, and good I say within quotes, good business in India, but we are also here to protect the consumer against the bad business. Nobody will be permitted to take the consumer for a ride, unless of course you are Uber and Ola. There you can take anybody for a ride, but businesses like your, and not just yours, any. So we work, Varuni and I work on unfair trading practices, misleading advertisements, uh, greenwashing. Now we are looking at AI washing. So why are we doing all this? Just so that consumer is very well informed as to where is the line. Even in this advertising thing, we are going to have a session in Mumbai next week on what is brand extension and what is surrogate advertising. Where is the line? I mean, if you want to have a prime time advertisement on television on 8 p.m. CDs, please tell us, how many CDs have you sold in last quarter and who's using CDs now? So issues like that. I mean, you can't be allowed to mislead the consumer. Right. So that is the overall context. But if you are doing a good reasonable business with reasonable profits, of course we are with you. But if you are taking the system for a ride or taking the consumer for a ride, then we'll come after you. I mean, that much I can promise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm sure all of us have taken our notes and we'll try to follow it to the teeth. And so, sir, before the session, when we communicated that we are going to have this session with you, so we actually received about four requests to discuss or some specific issues pertaining to the direct selling rule. So very quickly, we'll take up one by one. So we'll start with Mr. Rahul Shankar, CEO of Modi Care. Sir, over to you.
Namaskar once again, sir. And I think the question that I was going to raise, and this is the question